Little House on the Prairie brought heartwarming stories of family, resilience, and frontier life to millions around the world. But beyond the charming scenes of Walnut Grove, real life for the cast wasn't always so idyllic. Accidents, personal tragedies, and unexpected hardships changed the paths of many beloved stars. As we look ahead to 2025, where are they now? Discover the surprising journeys and hidden struggles behind the faces we grew up with. Michael Landon, who portrayed Charles Ingalls in Little House on the Prairie, was 38 years old when he took on the role of the resilient, loving father who served as the moral anchor of the series. His powerful portrayal of a devoted pioneer dad earned him lasting fame. However, Landon's personal life was marred by deep struggles. He married 3 times, first to Dodie Levy-Fraser, then to Lynn No, and finally to Cindy Clerico. His marriages were plagued by infidelity, culminating in painful divorces that left his family fractured. Landon had 9 children but often struggled to balance his work and personal life, leading to strained relationships. Career-wise, after the show's success, his later projects never achieved the same acclaim, leading to professional frustration. He battled alcoholism and chain smoking, which ultimately contributed to his diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. Michael Landon passed away on July 1, 1991, at the age of 54. He died surrounded by family, yet rumors circulated about lingering bitterness among his children. His estate was estimated at $40 million, a testament to his enduring popularity, though it was divided amid disputes among heirs. His death marked the end of an era for fans who saw him as the ultimate father figure. Rachel Lindsay Greenbush, who portrayed the sweet and innocent Carrie Ingalls alongside her twin sister, was only 4 years old when she started filming Little House on the Prairie. As a child actress, her wide-eyed innocence captivated audiences, but the aftermath of early fame cast a long shadow over her life. Rachel largely withdrew from acting, attempting a quiet existence far from the limelight. She married Billy Bush, a horse trainer, but their relationship was fraught with tension and ultimately ended in divorce, leaving her emotionally scarred. She had 1 child, a daughter named Piper, but often faced challenges as a single parent. Professionally, she dabbled in rodeo competitions and business ventures, many of which failed, leading to periods of financial instability. Rachel also struggled with depression and substance abuse during her adult years. Now 54, she lives a private, reclusive life in California, reportedly working with animals for therapy. Her estimated estate is modest, around $300,000, reflecting a life of quiet resilience rather than Hollywood wealth. Sydney Greenbush, who shared the role of Carrie Ingalls with her twin sister Rachel, was also just 4 years old during the filming of Little House on the Prairie. Sydney's portrayal brought tenderness and charm to the show, but life after fame was riddled with difficulties. After leaving acting, Sydney attempted careers in professional rodeo and real estate, with mixed success. She married horse breeder William Rocky Foster, but their marriage was troubled by infidelity and financial stress, ending in divorce after a tumultuous relationship. Tragically, Foster later died by suicide, an event that haunted Sydney deeply. She never remarried and has no children, often citing emotional barriers stemming from past trauma. Sydney has battled depression and faced near bankruptcy several times. Today, at 54, she lives quietly in California, working part-time and taking care of horses. Her estimated estate is about $250,000. Although her early fame brought smiles to millions, her adult life has been shaped by tragedy, resilience, and a continual search for inner peace. Melissa Gilbert, who portrayed the lively and headstrong Laura Ingalls, was just 9 years old when she stepped into the role that would define her early career. Her earnest and heartfelt performance made her the emotional center of the series. Yet behind her success, Gilbert's life was filled with turbulence. She married 3 times, first to Bo Brinkman, then to Bruce Boxleitner, and finally to actor Timothy Busfield. Her marriages were often rocky, marked by infidelities, substance abuse, and intense public scrutiny. She has 2 sons, Dakota and Michael, and her relationships with them have occasionally been strained due to her career demands and personal struggles. Post Little House, Gilbert's acting career never quite recaptured the same magic, and she battled alcoholism and financial woes, even filing for bankruptcy in 2015. Now 60, Gilbert lives a quieter life in rural New York, focusing on writing, activism, and health. She remains a beloved figure for fans but carries the scars of a tumultuous life in Hollywood. Her current estimated estate stands at around $500,000. Karen Grassel, who portrayed Caroline Ingalls in Little House on the Prairie, was 32 years old when she embodied the strong, nurturing matriarch who held the family together through endless hardships. Grassel's performance was tender yet fierce, earning her a devoted following. Yet, behind the scenes, her life was riddled with heartbreak. After the series, she struggled to find roles, typecast as the pioneer mother. Her marriage to Leon Russum ended in divorce, and subsequent relationships were tumultuous. She married twice more but found lasting happiness elusive. She had 1 daughter, Lily, born via adoption, but their relationship has reportedly been distant. Grassel battled alcoholism in the 1980s, leading to long periods of isolation and depression. Financial struggles haunted her before a late resurgence in theater. Now 83 years old, she lives quietly in California, occasionally appearing in small productions. Her estate is estimated at $500,000, a modest sum considering her early fame. Despite her personal battles, she remains a symbol of strength to many fans, even as the loneliness of her later years weighs heavily. Melissa Sue Anderson, who portrayed Mary Ingalls' from Little House on the Prairie, the sensitive and intelligent eldest daughter, was only 12 when she brought the character's quiet resilience to life. Her portrayal of Mary's blindness was critically acclaimed, but stardom came at a high cost. After the show, Anderson found herself typecast and disillusioned with Hollywood. Her marriage to television producer Michael Sloan seemed stable but was marred by frequent separations. They have 2 children, Piper and Griffin, though Melissa's strained relationship with Piper has made headlines. She moved to Canada in hopes of a fresh start, but feelings of isolation persisted. Anderson rarely acts now and has spoken about her battles with depression and distrust in the industry that once celebrated her. Although she stays mostly out of the public eye at 62, her wealth is estimated at around $1.5 million. Despite appearances of a quiet life, Anderson's journey has been riddled with personal betrayals, career disappointments, and the lingering shadow of childhood fame. Richard Bull, who took on the role of Nels Olson in Little House on the Prairie at 50 years old, became a fan favorite for his portrayal of the fair and endlessly patient store owner married to the notoriously nasty Harriet. Bull's warmth and quiet humor balanced the show's more dramatic elements, but his off-screen life held its own share of trials. Married to actress Barbara Collentine for more than 65 years, their union endured many hardships, including financial instability and Bull's prolonged battles with heart disease. The couple had no children, something Bull reportedly regretted deeply. Despite professional success, he often felt overshadowed and underappreciated in the industry. His health steadily declined after retirement, and he struggled with loneliness after moving into an assisted living facility. Bull passed away in 2014 at the age of 89 due to pneumonia. At the time of his death, his estate was estimated at a modest $800,000. Though remembered fondly by fans, Bull's later years were marked more by quiet sorrow than Hollywood glamour. Jonathan Gilbert, who brought mischievous Willie Olson from Little House on the Prairie to life at just 7 years old, seemed to embody the playful spirit of childhood on screen. In reality, Gilbert's life was deeply complicated. Adopted by actors Barbara Cowan and Paul Gilbert, he grew up in the shadow of his adopted sister, Melissa Gilbert, whose fame far eclipsed his own. After leaving acting behind, Jonathan cut ties with his family, disappearing into a life of anonymity as a stockbroker in New York. Reports suggest that he has been estranged from his siblings and parents for decades. Gilbert never married and has no children, choosing an isolated existence far from Hollywood's glare. Allegations of deep depression, struggles with identity, and long periods of silence haunt his story. Now 57 years old, Jonathan's net worth is estimated around $2 million, accumulated not through acting, but through careful financial work. Though he once brought laughter to millions, Gilbert now lives quietly, his life marked by solitude and the heavy burden of a complicated legacy. Katharine McGregor, who portrayed the pretentious and gossipy Harriet Olsen on Little House on the Prairie, was 49 years old when she took on the role that made her a household name. Her sharp wit and comedic timing brought a unique charm to the town's mercantile owner, making her a fan favorite despite her character's many flaws. Off-screen, McGregor's life was far more complicated. She never married or had children, and often spoke about her loneliness and struggles with alcoholism. After Little House, she found it difficult to secure major roles and eventually retired from acting to focus on her spiritual journey with Hinduism. Her career's decline left her living modestly, relying heavily on pensions and small theater projects. McGregor's life was also marred by estrangement from family members and periods of deep depression. She lived her final years in the motion picture and television fund retirement community, finding solace among old friends. Katharine McGregor passed away on November 13, 2018, at the age of 93, due to natural causes. Her estate was estimated at $250,000 at the time of her death, having donated much of her savings to spiritual and animal welfare causes. Merlin Olsen, who portrayed the rugged yet gentle Jonathan Garvey on Little House on the Prairie, was 38 years old when he joined the cast. His character embodied resilience, strength, and loyalty, qualities that Olsen naturally brought from his background as an NFL football star. Tragically, Olsen's life off-screen was shadowed by hardships. Despite a long marriage to Susan Wakely, with whom he had 3 children, the marriage faced numerous challenges from his frequent travels and health issues. Post Little House, his acting career waned, and he battled financial difficulties despite previous fame. Diagnosed with mesothelioma, a rare cancer often linked to asbestos exposure, he spent his last years fighting for his life and reflecting on missed opportunities with his family. He passed away on March 11, 2010, at 69. Olsen's final years were painful, physically and emotionally, as he regretted the moments lost to his career ambitions. His estate at the time of death was estimated at $1.5 million, largely consumed by medical expenses and legal battles against asbestos manufacturers. Alison Arngrim, who at just 12 years old became notorious for her portrayal of the scheming and spoiled Nellie Olsen in Little House on the Prairie, carried a heavy burden beneath her mischievous smile. Nellie's blonde ringlets and piercing sarcasm made her one of television's most iconic Mean Girls. In reality, Alison endured a turbulent home life, suffering abuse during her childhood, a trauma she later bravely revealed in her memoirs. Though she found moderate success in stand-up comedy and advocacy, especially for AIDS awareness after her close friend and co-star Steve Tracy died, her personal life has been rocky. She married twice, first to actor Donald Spencer, divorced, and later to musician Robert Paul Schoonover, a relationship she describes as supportive but tested by her lingering emotional scars. Alison remains childless by choice, focusing instead on activism. Now 63, she continues to battle lingering health issues and the shadow of her troubled past. Her estimated estate is valued around $400,000, mostly tied to royalties and book sales, living a modest but impactful life in Los Angeles. Matthew Labortos, who at 13 charmed audiences as Albert Ingalls the Sensitive, in Little House on the Prairie, street smart boy adopted by Charles and Caroline, hid his own battles behind his bright smile. Diagnosed with autism at a young age, he overcame significant developmental challenges to succeed in Hollywood. Albert's storyline, touching on themes like addiction and illness, eerily mirrored some of Matthew's real-life struggles with mental health in adulthood. After Little House, Labortos found it hard to transition into adult roles, eventually shifting into voice acting for animated shows and video games. His personal life has been extremely private, with no known marriages or children, and insiders often describe him as intensely solitary. Friends suggest he experienced bouts of depression and financial instability during leaner years. Now 58, he leads a quiet life, occasionally attending fan conventions but largely avoiding the spotlight. His estimated estate is modest, valued at around $300,000, supported primarily by voiceover royalties and residuals. Despite his struggles, Matthew remains a beloved figure among fans of the classic series. Dabbs Greer, who portrayed Reverend Robert Alden in Little House on the Prairie, was 57 years old when he took on the role of the small-town minister, embodying a gentle spirit and unwavering moral compass. Despite the respect he garnered on screen, Greer's personal life was marked by loneliness and quiet sadness. Never marrying nor having children, he often expressed regret about living without a family of his own. Behind the scenes, he struggled with periods of depression, especially after the series ended, when steady roles became scarce. Throughout his later years, Greer suffered 5 major health crises, including heart disease and a painful battle with cancer. Though he continued to mentor young actors, the absence of a family left him feeling isolated. He lived modestly in Pasadena, California, until his death on April 28, 2007, at the age of 90 due to kidney and heart failure. His estate was estimated to be worth around $500,000 at the time of his death, primarily composed of modest real estate holdings and residuals from his long television career. Dean Butler was just 23 years old when he stepped into the boots of Almanzo Wilder in Little House on the Prairie, the charming and determined young farmer who would become Laura Ingalls' husband. Butler's portrayal captured the romantic ideals of many viewers, but reality proved far less idealistic for him. After Little House on the Prairie, his acting career dwindled into a series of minor roles, and the struggle to stay relevant left him disillusioned. Butler married actress Catherine Cannon, but their relationship was fraught with difficulties, and they eventually divorced without having children. Financial setbacks, including a failed production company venture, plagued him for years. Butler also endured the tragic loss of both his parents within a short span, leading to a prolonged period of grief and self-doubt. Although he pivoted to work behind the camera, producing documentaries and television content, the scars of early fame and career disappointments lingered. Now 69 years old, he maintains a quieter life, residing in California. His current estimated net worth is about $1 million, much of it tied up in small production investments and speaking engagements. Kevin Hagen, who brought the beloved Dr. Hiram Baker from Little House on the Prairie to life at the age of 46, offered audiences a portrayal of tireless compassion and resilience in Walnut Grove. Yet Hagen's own life was marred by hidden sorrows. Divorced twice, first from actress Susan Weir and later from writer Jan Hagen, he had one son, Christopher, but their relationship became strained after years of Hagen's focus on his acting career. Post Little House on the Prairie, Hagen struggled to find meaningful roles, feeling typecast and left behind by an industry he had once trusted. His later years were marked by severe arthritis, leading to physical disability, and a long, exhausting battle with esophageal cancer. Hagen experienced deep financial instability toward the end, having invested poorly in a series of failed business ventures. Despite these struggles, he remained a fixture at fan conventions, drawing strength from the affection of longtime admirers. Kevin Hagen died on July 9, 2005, at the age of 77, with an estate estimated to be under $250,000, a painful contrast to his earlier fame. Who is your favorite character from Little House on the Prairie? How does it feel knowing that some of the actors are no longer with us? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on future uploads. Thank you for your support.